Hello everyone, and welcome to this Misguided Musings on the film Warcraft. To get this out of the way, I give it a 19 out of 50. For those of you who want to know what I actually mean by that, please keep listening now. For those of you who didn't know, Warcraft is a film adaptation of the RTS series turned MMO Warcraft, which is about essentially an alliance of humans, elves, dwarves, and other, stereotypically good creatures against stereotypically evil creatures like orcs, trolls, taurens, etc. The film Warcraft shows how the orcs came to Azeroth, so it's before all the mighty alliances were really formed. And it also shows how the humans attempted to destroy the orcs, which, spoiler alert, they don't do very well. So yeah, coming into this film, I had some experience with Warcraft. I used to play the MMORPG, I've messed around a little with Warcraft itself, and I've read some of the books, so I was mildly excited for the film, and had a general grasp on how the universe worked before coming in. So, watching the movie was sort of strange, because I hadn't really delved into the world and lore again for a while. So I was a little out of the loop. And what did I think? Let's start out with what I liked. That first scene with the orcs, I think, was done really well. I liked seeing the orcs go through the gate. I liked seeing how they powered the gate. And I generally liked the overall aesthetics of the old orc world being contrasted with the new world. Especially with the scene of the new orc being born on a world, which could be seen as symbolism for them, and essentially taking over the world, which, spoiler alert, they don't do very well. Staying on the topic of the orcs, I really liked the voice acting the orcs had. Like, it sounded really good. It sounded somewhat foreign. It sounded like orcs. In fact, the orcs were probably the best thing about the film for me. They had the most varied character designs. They had the most unique personalities. I could actually somewhat identify one orc from another, and you had a general feeling of why they were coming here and understood both why they were evil from the perspective of the humans. They're coming in to destroy the world and using this evil magic that destroys life, and from the orcs' perspective, they're coming in to try and save their own species. That is something I really liked. Unfortunately, that's where everything good I have to say about the film really ends. Like, the CGI is very inconsistent. Like, some of the orcs are done in CGI, some of them are done via live action practical effects, and it gets kind of distracting when you compare the two. Like, why are these being done live action? Why are these being done CGI? Yeah, I get this one is a half-breed, but still, wouldn't that have helped out a little to make it more foreign and not just a Star Trek style alien? And by Star Trek style, I mean like the first generation of Star Trek, where they just like painted people different colors, gave them makeup, and oh, they're an alien. Like, that's literally what some of the orcs feel like. The humans aren't much better either. Like, they are bad. Like, the voice acting in the film is very good. Very, very good. But the human actors are all really bad. I don't know if it comes down to direction, or they just got bad actors, but none of them feel like they actually think any of this is really serious. They're all, like, they make the actors in the Dungeons and Dragons film look good. But at the same time, the main character of them all really is the worst, because his accent doesn't really match with everyone else's accent. It makes it very inconsistent. Like, everyone else has this very defined accent. They're clearly from this world. This guy could be an alien with his accent. Like, forget the orcs. This guy is the alien invader. We gotta get rid of him. I should know. I'm an extra-dimensional completely human. What makes it worse is, since the characters don't really exist or are very memorable for the humans, there aren't really any weight behind their actions, and since they tend to be the focus of the action and fighting scenes instead of the orcs, there really isn't any tension in the fighting. the story either. Like, you see human settlements being destroyed, but you see like 5 or 6 of them at the same time, so you don't know if these were destroyed like all in the same day and the orcs somehow crossed like 60 miles in the course of a day, if they were destroyed over successive weeks, or what's going on. Pretty much the story makes it so that there's no real weight to anything that's done. Even in the climax, the freaking climax of the film, there really isn't any weight behind it, because you know from the beginning of the film that the humans fail, that the orcs fail, that they're in a stalemate hundreds of years after this, so there's really no weight to anything that is being done. Getting back on topic, let's talk about Warcraft as an adaptation. I could not remember anyone's name. That is a huge problem, because it relies too much on the source material for you to actually get any enjoyment out of it. There are too many fan service moments. There's literally one scene that lasts like maybe 2-3 seconds, which shows a Murloc, and he does a oh sound. And while I did appreciate that, if you didn't play the games, you have no idea what that is. You just see that fish guy and you're like, wait, why is that fish guy there? It doesn't help. And in terms of advancing the story of the series or providing it in a new light, it doesn't really work either. It's sort of like the Wikipedia page of the series. Like, here's all this stuff. If you want to know more, go into the books, go into the games, go into the CED of Wrath of Khan. That will help. Even as its own film, it just doesn't stand up. The characters are completely forgettable. The action is bland and boring. The music, I forgot to mention the music because I forgot about all the music in the film. The story doesn't make any sense without context to it. Like, you don't have any context to the world of the orcs, really, aside from the first part. They keep mentioning what it looks like, but you only see, like, it being destroyed. The humans aren't much better. You have no idea how they live day to day. You don't see any grunts making mage towers in order to build the griffin, right? Okay, I'm nitpicking now, but still. This film is one thing and one thing only. Sequel bait. From the very beginning to the very end, this film is doing nothing but setting up sequels. It exists only to set up a universe to build other films off of. The director has even admitted he wants to make 2, maybe 3 extra films off of this one, before the first one was even done. They had franchise in mind. This was not made to be a standalone experience. It was made to be built off of. Which is kind of perfect, because my recommendation is simply to wait for the sequel. This one you can watch if you really want to, and you're a fan of Warcraft and you know like everything, you got all your ducks in a row. But other than that, there's nothing there. Like, Dungeons & Dragons as a film was entertaining as its own entity. This, if you don't know anything about it, it doesn't help. It's got nothing to it. Which is kind of sad, because if this is what the first film is like, and I'm recommending the sequel, then they either have to really build off of it like this, or stop sequel baiting. Stop thinking about extra films in the series. Just focus on this one here, right now, making it the best one you got, making it so that people will come and want to see it, and then afterwards want to see the sequels, and not just wait for the sequel, because there's nothing here. This has been That Man Over There. Thank you for listening. If you liked this, please let me know. If you didn't like it, please let me know. I hope I can do something else like this again soon. And have a nice day.